Welcome to the UK's Earth Observation Data Hub, EODH. In this video, we'll explore how to discover, filter, visualize, and compare optical Earth observation data using the EOData Hub web interface. By the end of the walkthrough, hopefully you'll know how to find relevant imagery, pin layers for visual comparison, and identify areas of change over time. So here we are on the landing page for the hub, and if I scroll up and down, you can see that there's lots of information available here for you to click through. First off, we're going to go to Getting Started Documentation, and that will open up the technical documentation. There's a lot of it, so I suggest you use the search bar, and we'll look for open data. You can see that there's 106 matching documents, so you can use quite complex search terms in order to filter that down. We're going to go down frequently asked questions, click on that, and it opens up the page. And you can see that under this question, what data is offered, that there's a whole host of information about open datasets. Now, if we wanted to get there using the navigation bar on the side of the page, we can go to Additional Help, FAQs, and then, yeah, you can see that there's a whole host of questions here as well. Okay, so to return to the landing page, we click on this logo up here, and that gets us back to the landing page. I'm just going to close this, and we'll come back to our original landing page. So the first thing we want to do here is look for some data. We could go in through Explore the Catalogue, or we could go to Catalogue and Browse. I'll come back to that later on because at the moment we're going to go directly into Maps. Okay, so this gets us to our map interface and our default dataset, which is Sentinel-2, which is an optical remote sensing satellite, analysis ready data. I just want to point out that everything that you're going to see in this video, we're not signed into the hub. This is something you can do without having an account, and it really shows how the hub can help you get started in understanding what data might be useful for the use cases that you have. So Sentinel-2 ARD, if we want to know a little bit more about it, we can click on this little icon here, which is the View Collection Metadata. We have some information here and a lot of metadata, so I'm not going to scroll right down through that, but please do have a look when you come onto the hub. Specific to EODH, we have this quality assurance page as well. And we'll do a video on quality assurance and product validation, but just to show you that for the Sentinel-2 ARD, most of the parameters have this ideal criteria, and those that don't have ideal have excellent. So it gives us a lot of confidence that this is a well processed and well presented data set that we can do some good stuff with. Okay, so we can close this metadata tab down by using the cross that's in the top right hand corner, and we get back to our map page. As you can see, it's the southern half of the UK, and we've got some image footprints here for the Sentinel-2 ARD for sort of recent dates and where those images fall. As I go over the various cards on the left-hand side, you can see that the map shows where those data sets relate to. And on the cards themselves, you can see that we have a thumbnail that can be added to the map. Can also be added to the map through this pinning. We have the name of the file, which is quite long, and also we have the date it was captured, the time it was captured, and the cloud cover. So in this instance, it's 88%. We can also zoom to an item. So there we are, we've zoomed into that item. So that would cover most of Wales. We can also share a link. So if we were to copy this URL, we could send that to somebody and they would see the same map view that we do. We can just close that. And we can also find some information about the image item itself. So this is metadata for the image item as opposed to what we were looking at before, which was metadata for the collection. So again, there's lots of information you can scroll through about this specific image item. And if I go to the Assets tab, you can see that it loads up the thumbnail and gives us information about each of the different assets. Now, if I go to COG, Cloud Optimized Geotiff, and just open up that drop down, we can see that we have some information about the data itself. We have a link to where the data is stored, and we have this download button. So if you wanted to download it onto your local machine and play with it there, then that's what you would use. I'm not going to do that now because we have it's quite a large data set and we don't have time to wait for that to happen. But it's similar for some of the other data sets as well. So let's say we're interested in where the cloud cover was, then you can download the cloud mask as well. One final thing to show you is the integration tool. So if we decided that we wanted this image, we can use the integration tools to basically download either a QLR file or a layer X file for either QGIS or ArcGIS Pro respectively, depending on what you're using. And that would open up the dataset directly into your GIS application. Similarly, if you're looking for rapid background dataset, then maybe you'd be interested in copying the URL to the XYZ tile service, or if you're creating web maps and you wanted to drop in a specific image, then you can do that by copying the URL here. Okay, so I will close this. We are going to look at something specific. We're going to try and see if we can understand the impact of last year's drought on water levels in a specific reservoir. So I'm just going to zoom in here on the map to where I know Chew Valley Lake is. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to restrict the spatial extent of what we're searching for in the data collection. So I will draw an area of interest, or an AOI, and just drag that across there. And then if I zoom out, you hopefully can see that we're now restricted to only image items that overlap with our AOI. So I'll zoom back in so we can see the area that we're most interested in. If I don't like that AOI, then I can delete it here and then redraw it. So let me just redraw that there. So we've restricted it spatially. Let's see if we can restrict it by some other things. So we're not interested in cloudy days. So let's take this down to 15% on the cloud cover slider. And we're only interested in 2025. And to be honest, I'm only interested in the summer of 25. So let's go 25 and start at beginning of April. And a good time to end would be, let's say, the end of September 2025. Now, when I click apply, hopefully this number here will reduce down to just the data sets that are in this area meeting these criteria. And yes, you can see that it's gone down to 19 items in the search results. So here under items, these are our search results, and each of these cards are exactly the same as I was explaining before. So what do we have? Let's try 22nd of September as our late date. That seems to cover the right area. And then for an early date, let's see what we can get. Maybe the 5th of 5th of April. Now, one of the other nice things that you can do with EODH is you can apply different visualizations. So let me just shut that down and go here. So at the moment, we're looking at natural color visualizations. But if we wanted to, we could do color infrared. Now, you might think not a lot has changed, but basically the visualization gets applied in real time. And so if we choose our April dataset again and we pin it once more, it should come up. Yes, it does, as a color infrared image. And that's a predetermined visualization. Similarly, we can do it the same for NDVI, which is a measure of vegetation vigor. And for April, we can see that the dark green's around the reservoir, so that shows that the vegetation was doing really well early in the season, which is great. Okay, so that's our search results bin. We've been pinning stuff, so what does that mean? If we go to pinned items, we can see that there are the 4 items that we've done. There's our late season, so our 22nd of September, our early season, 5th of April, and then our color infrared, 5th of April, and our NDVI, 5th of April. So I'm going to toggle that off, and I'm going to toggle that off as well. That gives us our 2 natural color data sets. So I can toggle on and off this early season, and you can see instantly that there's a big difference in the water levels. And so we can see that the drought did have a major impact over summer. So that's one way of doing this, but we could also use this change item opacity slider for a slightly more nuanced way of doing it, and we can slide in and out, and you can see all sorts of information changing. So we're mainly concentrating on the lake itself, but you can see that the fields also change. What if we were interested in something else to try and analyze visually alongside that? Well, what we can do is go to change collection. So if we go up here to where it says Sentinel 2 ARD, change collection, and then you see that we get a whole load of collections that are held within EODH. And there's a lot of things there, so we can use the filters, and we could maybe look at open data just for United Kingdom, and you can see that that's filtered down to a few, and we can choose whichever one we want. So if we wanted to open a collection, we'd just click on this Open Collection. Another way of getting there is to go to Catalog and Browse. You can see here that we have the same full set of data collections that are in EODH and the same filters. So again, I could choose Open Data and I could choose United Kingdom, and we've grouped that down, filtered that down, but I could also group by data category. And you can see that we've sort of break that down even more. In this video, we've explored how to navigate the EODH web presence. We've searched for some documentation, we've filtered imagery, we've pinned datasets so that we can view them, and we've compared optical Earth observation data over 2 different dates. If you're interested in the EOData Hub or any of the topics we've discussed in this video, then please reach out using the inquiries@eodatahub.org.uk email address. That's on this slide here, but also there's a whole host of URLs to various bits of information. Thank you.